Okay, my name is Abby Honeberger, and I'm going to be arguing why we should mass vaccinate people for smallpox. So, first of all, what is smallpox? Smallpox is a serious illness caused by a virus known as the variola virus, and it got its name from the pus-filled blisters that would cover your body from head to toe once you contracted this disease. And it is extremely contagious. You would get it from face-to-face contact with people. So if someone is infected and you're near them, if they cough, sneeze, or talk in your direction, you could potentially be contracting this disgusting disease. So, a brief history of smallpox. The earliest dated case of smallpox goes all the way back to 1350 BC in Egypt. And from there, it traveled all over the world. In the 4th century, it made its way to China. In the 5th century, to Europe. In the 7th century, it was in India and the Mediterranean. In the 10th century, it made its way to Southwest Asia. And finally, in the 17th century, to the American colonies. The only places that weren't affected by smallpox was Australia and other small isolated islands. And the last known case of smallpox was in Somalia in 1977. Some of the symptoms you will see in smallpox are flu-like, so you'll have a fever, headache, backache, vomiting, diarrhea, but then what makes it different than the flu is the rash that breaks out. First, it'll start out with red sores, and then the sores will turn into bumps, which then become pus-filled sacs. And then, if you don't die at this point, the sacs will then crust over, fall off, and leave disfiguring scars from head to toe. And if these sores get anywhere near your eyes, there have been cases of blindness caused by it. So, once you become infected, you have, the symptoms won't appear between 7 and 17 days after you're infected. So about a week or two, and then you'll start getting these symptoms. But the best way to treat it once you contract it is to get the vaccination 3 to 4 days after you're infected, which is kind of a lose-lose because you don't know you're infected until a week or two after, and you've already missed your time frame to get your vaccination, which could reduce your symptoms or even prevent the disease altogether. And because this is such a big topic is because there is no treatment or cure for smallpox. So once you get it, you either fight it off and hopefully live, or you die because it's a pretty fatal disease. So only prevention can help. So why should we vaccinate rather than treat? Well, like I said, there is no treatment or cure. So the only way to prevent dying from smallpox is to prevent it before. So the process to vaccinate is quite easier and cheaper than the process to treat once an epidemic has broke out. So once an epidemic breaks out, we have to vaccinate the infected, vaccinate the health workers, and vaccinate anybody who could have ever been in contact with these people. And then we need to quarantine the infected and make vaccinations available to the public, which they aren't right now. And even though there hasn't been a case since 1977, they still have stockpiles of the disease in a lab in Atlanta, Georgia, and a lab in Russia. So this brings up the topic of biological warfare, which it's harder to dodge a disease than it would be to dodge bullets. So if we would ever be infected, this would be widespread and it could kill millions of people. This is what smallpox looks like. It's quite disgusting, and your body will be scarred like this for life if you would survive. So if we do not vaccinate people, we can't guarantee survival. So because once you're sick, there's no cure, no treatment, and it's most likely you're going to die because it is such a fatal disease. And the only way that we can completely make sure everyone will be safe is to vaccinate everyone. And that's it.